At PEMCO, everything we do is hyper-local and individualized to the people. I'm Jared. I'm a lot like you, a little different. I've been studying Mandarin Chinese for over a decade.
I'm Margaret. I'm a lot like you, a little different. I've couch surfed in Morocco, Spain, and Alaska.
I'm Miguel. I'm a lot like you, a little different. I plan community events for thousands of people.
I'm Thomas. I'm a lot like you, a little different. I've qualified for the Boston Marathon this spring.
Meet Jake. Jake is also a little different. He runs and operates his own goat farming business, goes out and does landscaping for people in the community. He cares enough about the environment that he's devoted his career to this passion. Jake, like millions of other Northwesterners here in the region, care about the environment, the underprivileged, and the community. Jake and the other people in this region expect that the companies they work with exemplify similar core values. They expect that the companies they work with have courage to stand up to social injustice, have integrity to care for the community, and are environmentally responsible. PEMCO is perfectly poised in order to service Jake and the other Northwesterners. We've been tasked with building out a new corporate social responsibility program that reflects the needs of this community.
While reviewing the numerous ideas we were able to come up with to establish a credible CSR program, we decided that we needed a program that not only addresses the needs of our community, but as well as a program that encompasses and engages our employees and establishes a great reputation for our company in the environment and the community, as well with our policyholders.
Our corporate social responsibility plan is as easy as 1, 2, 3. We care about the community, we care about the environment, and we care about the underprivileged. But now we want to do things a little differently. 1% of our people's time will be paid time off to volunteering in the community. 2% of our profits will be donated to an environmental cause, and 3% of our product will be insuring the underprivileged at discounted rates.
The PEMCO committee will be in charge of allocating these 3 different resources. Personalized and localized, the committee will provide the highest yield impact at the most individual level. The PEMCO committee will also help support brand recognition as well as company morale and values among employees. The PEMCO committee, like I mentioned, sits at the core of our CSR plan. The PEMCO committee brings together employees from each of its 3 different offices. When they come together, they discuss current issues as well as community passions, and this discussion leads them to elect an annual theme. That theme then decides how they will allocate those 3 different resources moving forward.
The purpose of the PEMCO committee is to bring together the employees and the community. By doing so, with each annual theme, they will select nonprofit leaders and community members to serve on annually rotating positions on the board. By doing so, our CSR plan will be fluid and adaptable from year to year, achieving maximum impact in the community. As our community changes, PEMCO Foundation will also change accordingly.
We're a lot like you. We care about our community. In the Northwest, what sets us apart are the people. We care about buying local. We care about local initiatives. We care about our community events. This kind of culture is within the PEMCO community. We have employees who work for nonprofits. We have employees who volunteer to work on boards and help in schools. We want to support this passion that our employees have by focusing on those issues.
A little different. 1% of people's time will be donated to volunteering in the community. We believe that by doing so, we can weave the employees into the fabric of the community and really serve the community at a personalized and localized level. Each year, the PEMCO committee picks their annual theme and then partners with nonprofits to plan activities centered around that theme. Employees will be able to choose which activities they're most passionate about and participate in those ones.
With 520 employees at PEMCO, this service initiative would give back over 12,000 service hours to the community. Not only would it help the community, but it would also help the employees themselves find greater purpose in their careers. We believe that through this initiative, the company will be able to promote its values and its culture among employees and among policyholders.
Something we need to remember is that the PEMCO committee is responsible for selecting the idea or the initiative to execute that year. However, it is of vital importance that we team up with local groups and that we're able to identify the problems that are within our area. The following are ideas and suggestions we have for this upcoming year.
For example, one year the PEMCO Foundation might notice that there are 23,000 homeless people in Washington and 1 million people who are living in poverty. They could choose this as a theme and partner with an organization such as Solid Ground. They would then work together to plan activities such as food drives and fun runs to help alleviate poverty. The next year, they would come together and pick a new theme, maybe education.
A recent McKinsey & Company study found that the most effective CSR strategies are founded upon sustainable partnerships. Therefore, we found that it was critical that we as PEMCO are able to form long-lasting relationships with members of the community. We want to bring in these local nonprofit members to be able to sit on our board in rotating positions and in order to address the most relevant issues of the time. This will ensure that our employees' time is well spent and applied directly to the community.
These organizations up here are potential partners for PEMCO to help us so we can identify and focus our efforts in greater helping the community.
We're a lot like you. We care about the environment. We care about our beaches. We care about our forests. We care about our home. Washington is beautiful. However, Washington will not stay beautiful without responsible companies. We know that this is important to our employees, our policyholders, and our community members. It's shown by the way that Seattle has the most people who bike to work than any other city of comparable size.
A little different. 2% of our PEMCO's net profit will be donated back to ensuring a more sustainable Earth. We felt like community involvement is a critical part of our CSR plan, but we still felt that we should be donating a portion of our profits to show that we are giving back and reinvesting in the Earth.
Like we've mentioned, it's important that the PEMCO committee itself decide upon various initiatives with the environment so that they can have the most impact within local communities. That being said, we have a few suggestions that we believe are innovative and potential solutions to problems facing the Northwest.
This we see is a clean air tower. A clean air tower fits in the credentials of needing a new innovative product. And what this tower does, what the clean air tower does, is it's able to filter 1 million cubic feet of air per hour. We know that Seattle is known for its beautiful air quality. But with this kind of investment, the community would know that PEMCO is at the forefront, continuously battling the problem of pollution.
Another potential solution is to promote a clean water initiative. In the ocean, it's estimated there are 46,000 pieces of plastic and debris per square mile. The ocean and the sea with the harbor nearby is essential to the lifestyle and the ecosystem here in Seattle. That being said, we suggest that one potential solution to promoting clean water is a sea bin such as this one. Sea bins can be placed in local harbors as well as in the sea or in the ocean, and they filter detergents, chemicals, and other pieces of waste that can be found within the ocean. These and more are potential solutions that we see to environmental problems facing the Northwest.
Again, the 2% of profit can be used to invest in innovative solutions such as these, but the 2% can also be used to help our partners in order to finish their initiatives to clean up our home.
We're a lot like you. We care about the underprivileged. For a final suggestion, we wanted to find something that PEMCO can do better than anybody else. We wanted to leverage the existing resources and capabilities that the PEMCO brand has built up over the years. We felt that it is time that we as an insurance company have courage to take smart risks and invest in the underprivileged by offering discounted policy packages.
A little different. 3% of PEMCO's product and policies programs will go to help those who are most vulnerable in our community, such as those who suffer from poverty, those who are high risk, and other disadvantaged individuals within our community. We know that this will bring more safety and more security to our area.
22% of people nationally live beneath the poverty line. This means on average they could be making less than $10,000 per year, meaning that their policy premiums can be greater than 10% of their total annual income. If these individuals are hoping to break from their existing conditions and be able to drive to work, these premiums can become debilitating and ruin their chances. In addition, these individuals often live in higher risk regions, meaning what little property they own could easily be stolen. We felt that it is time, we felt compelled to be able to better their situations, to be able to do something for them, to be able to provide them the safety and security that an insurance company is known for doing.
As an insurance company, we can achieve the most impact by doing what we do best, insurance, by insuring the underprivileged. In Washington, 16% of drivers are uninsured. 56% of renters do not have renter's insurance. With this new program, 12,000 families will be able to afford the insurance that they so desperately need. We project that with the 50% discount in our policies premiums, that we will see a gross revenue of $1 million annually, and this is based on industry averages.
In conclusion, going back to what Michael said at the beginning, we wanted our new corporate social responsibility program to be able to build brand affinity and be able to build a sense of community. As such, we've built a sample email marketing platform or campaign that you could be running after doing this for a few years. You can tell the story of Jessica, a low-income individual who normally would not be able to afford something like renter's insurance. But because of the premiums that our policyholders are paying into, we were able to insure her for when her stuff was stolen and be able to replace the things that she owns. This will help, this is sent out to the 400,000 policyholders that we currently have, will help build a sense of community, will help our policyholders know that their contributions into the insurance funds aren't just going to profits, but they're going to people like Jessica and people who really need them.
Here at PEMCO, it's really the people that make the difference. The PEMCO committee represents those people. Personalized and localized, this committee provides the highest yield impact at the most individual level. Helping the community is now as easy as 1, 2, 3. People, profit, and product. We look forward to working with you, and we're happy to take any questions at this time.
Now for Q&A.
Hi there. Do you know how the 2% profit recommendation that you made compares to the current contribution levels for PEMCO? Is it more or less?
I can answer that. So currently, PEMCO donates 5% of their profits. However, we felt like with the other expenses incurred with our other programs, that it was best to have a smaller amount donated.
I have a question about the PEMCO committee. I love that idea in engaging your people as part of the process and figuring out where you want to focus and changing themes each year. What are your thoughts about how that impacts some of the community partners? I think it might be challenging for a nonprofit to be a center of your focus one year and not the next. And they're really looking for long-term partners that they can count on to fund their initiatives year after year. How would you manage that changing theme concept, which I think is great and very fresh for your people, but also build those really long-term relationships with your nonprofit partners?
Great. Well, I think that in terms of partnering in the long term, just because we focus upon different initiatives each year, especially with the employees, that doesn't mean that we can't maintain those relationships through them continuing to sit on the board. So let's say one year that they decide they want to do poverty, and so that'll be the focus, but I'm sure that there are employees that are still passionate about helping in education. And so I think that's the great thing about the board, is it allows for that fluidity and the interests of several different groups to be able to come together and hash through issues like that. So I don't know, does that answer your question? Yeah.
On the 1% with the people, what infrastructure will you have for that? How will you monitor it going forward, and how do you project the costs of proposing this and putting this into motion?
I can take.
And also, will the volunteering be mandatory? Do I have to do the 1%?
So just as going in backwards order from your most recent question, we feel that the PEMCO people, they care about their community and all the initiatives that would be up there. And they would happily be going out and volunteering their 1% of their time. It will not be a requirement, but it should be, as part of our culture, as part of our hiring process, we should be looking for those people who want to be doing this. Your second question, which was what we expect for the costs. We expect that there will be some costs of these people going out, but because they're more engaged at work, there'll be higher productivity. We don't have an exact cost for how much their volunteered time will cost us.
So I have a question on the impact specific to the poverty discount. Maybe I'm not saying that right, but kind of taking care of the underprivileged with this discount. Insurance, my understanding is that insurance is really about the law of large numbers, and we look at, young drivers tend to have less experience driving, so their premiums are higher. Older drivers, more established, tend to have better rates because they're more responsible. So talk to me about the thought process of this particular demographic, if you will, and how you considered maybe losses. So you're discounting them, but they could incur losses that are greater than what we would receive in premium. So just talk about that a little bit, if you could.
Yeah, I'll take you through to our finances. So what we did was we just used industry averages, but I do want to qualify this by saying we didn't actually know what PEMCO charges, what they expect on their claims, and what their losses would be. We just used the numbers that we found in the industry on average, and we didn't tamper with them, knowing that we wouldn't be able to come to the right number and we wouldn't be able to adjust correctly. So we walked through the average percent of people who make claims, how much they normally claim, and how much an average policy would cost, yielding us down to the $84 per policy of gross revenue. And then we took that, multiplied by our 400,000 existing policies to get us to the number we have. I know that wasn't a direct answer to your question, but that's how those numbers came to play. And we didn't have enough information to be able to get exactly what PEMCO should expect.
Well, it tells me that you put some thought into that, so thank you.
Hi there. What do you see as an implementation timeline for your program that you're proposing? Is it a phased rollout across the company? Is it a overnight switch to this new 1, 2, 3 structure? How long do you foresee building the committee, for instance?
So we do foresee that with any policy, it takes time to implement it. However, it really is a simple model and very similar to some of the things you're doing already, donating part of your profit, having employees volunteer their time. And so we believe that this will be able to be implemented within the year. And starting next year, go from the beginning and do it exactly as planned.
I'm actually going to go back to Michelle's question. When you pulled your industry standard numbers, was it a true apples to apples in the sense that did you pull numbers that were regional versus national, or?
we used national averages, the numbers that we could get a hold of. We weren't able to delve into Washington or Oregon specifically.
Last call.
Also on the on this 3% for underprivileged, can you talk a little about the research you did, and are these products really addressing needs, and kind of tell us some more about that in terms of that demographic, and then is that to be a very public program, or is that just behind the scenes PEMCO?
So I think that's me again. So the 3% is going towards individuals who want our policies. So these would be people who would normally apply, and we might reject them, or we'd give them such a high premium that there's no way they'd be able to afford it. So we do feel like there is a need that for people to have this kind of safety and security in these regions. Your second question, again, I forgot. Yes, it would be a very public, yeah. It's a very public, it drives community involvement and helps our policyholders to know that we're doing something good. And then in addition, our forecasts for the financials are expecting to get completely new people that we would have otherwise not had. So it is public.
Great. Well, if there's no other questions, let's give a round of applause to the team from Room A. In second place, Brigham Young University Marriott School of Management.